For more than 2 decades, he's been the hospitality director at Montana ExpoPark. Baker Bob is pulling back the curtain and sharing the stories of celebrities and performers that have come through our community and what they've loved about Great Falls. On this episode of We're No Damn Experts, we're picking up where we left off in episode 143 with part 2 of our conversation.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Tame. If you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
The other day on the air, I heard you and Jason talking about when Jody Messina and that she brought her family back to Great Falls after she had performed here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because they loved it so much, she wanted to show it off?
Yeah. And Jody was here earlier in her career, and excellent singer, nice gal, very... women are usually protected by their tour manager. Tour managers want a bubble around their female property. They really don't like... anybody getting too close. And Jody would have none of that. No, she's going to break down barriers and say hi. And she's one that likes to touch your arm when she talks to you.
Yeah.
And she's a close talker and just a nice gal. Well, when she came back this second time, her mother and dad came with her, and they brought their bus.
Oh.
They brought their own Winnebago bus.
Oh.
And we pulled them backstage. We pulled them right behind the Four Seasons, got them set up. Got the awnings outside. They have their rugs. They had their easy chairs. Invited them for dinner. They came for lunch and dinner and the whole works. Now the other one, Jody, also had. She just had a baby.
Okay.
And this baby was probably 6 months old.
Did your daughter get called in for this? Or
No, she had a nanny with her.
Okay.
Jody had her own nanny, and her name was Kelly. We remember the cute ones.
Yeah.
So, and Kelly and Jody and they would just sit in the back with their chairs and their playpen. The weather was nice. We were in the shade, and Mom and Dad, they'd come sit at the picnic table and provide the hospitality. But Jody says, no, you got to come to Montana. She said, you don't want to miss this one. I'm going to be there doing the show, and you better come along with me. She says, and plus you'll be fed well.
Yeah.
I hope.
Got a good reputation
that was
going.
The plan.
Yeah.
So you've spilled a lot of tea here on the podcast, which now people listening go, I'll know where I can sneak in to get some good food. How do you prevent people like Shannon from sneaking in to get the good food and, hang out with the famous folk?
That's been an issue.
I
really
can imagine.
Yeah.
And now reference the Beach Boys.
Okay.
Let's go to the Beach Boys. Okay. You're having dinner. It's really nice. People are sitting down having dinner. You've got the back doors are open. The kitchen's in full bloom. Pretty soon a guy comes in the back door off the parking lot, and he's got a surfboard under his arm. A real live
surfboard.
Regular heavy fiberglass surfboard.
Okay.
And he comes walking in and says, "Hey guys, how are you?" And everybody looks like maybe he's with the band.
Yeah.
So
nobody's
he's
quite sure who he
acting the
is.
part here. Yeah.
So he comes in with the surfboard. How you doing? And it's good to see you again. He starts shaking hands with the band, the Beach Boys, Mike Love and Bruce Johnston. And how you doing? All this and hey, this is good. And I brought my surfboard this time, so we could get it signed after we kind of missed it last time and all this. And pretty soon the promoter, he leans over to me. He says, "Do you know this guy? Is he with the band?" I says, "I've never seen him before." So he did. The Beach Boys did sign his. I had a Sharpie. They signed his surfboard, and he was ushered out the back.
Huh.
So it's really true. You just show up with enough
You just
confidence.
look the part.
You show up with enough confidence. People aren't going to question.
Right. You can get that autograph.
Now,
I'm telling you, it's a
now,
nice path.
Let's do another one. Let's do the Blake Sheldon story.
Okay.
Blake Sheldon is this was some few years ago, but he's people would walk in the gate from the Shopco the shop
Okay,
gate
yep.
over there, and walked behind the Four Seasons. And, sound check was scheduled for 3 o'clock, and they'd set up the stage. And Blake Sheldon's just off the bus. He's just hanging around,
Yeah.
causing trouble. And
Like
My-
Blake
As
would.
he would, yeah.
and my assistant and I were out at the grill. We're getting stuff cooked. We got to get it in the chafing dishes. We've got chicken to cook, which is a standard. So we're doing all that. And Blake Sheldon said he's got a football and he's tossing it around. He says, "Hey, somebody want to play catch with me?" No. I
We're
said,
kind of busy.
busy.
We're kind of busy. And he looked at my assistant. He says, "Come on, you can throw me a couple." And I looked at him. I gave him the head shake, like, "No."
You
I
can't.
need you.
So he grabbed it. He grabbed one of the roadies who were walking by. He says, "Joey, come here. Let's play." So okay. So Blake Sheldon hands him the ball and says, "Throw long," and he runs all the way out toward the way back in the parking lot.
Okay.
And this guy heaves it over his head. And that was the plan.
okay.
And it goes off into the parking lot. Well, Blake Sheldon runs out there and gets the ball. And what does he do? Stops and visit with everybody that's walking by.
Oh.
There was 2 or 3 couples and a stroller and everything. "Hey, how you doing? How's that?" And I could tell he was down there talking to him. And pretty soon he says, "Well, I better get back in here." I could tell he glad-handed him a little bit. And then he walks up, and they walk away. They leave, and he throws the ball back up to his friend. And I thought, okay, I saw what happened here. And then a friend takes the ball and heaves it into the parking lot again.
Huh.
So Blake Sheldon runs all the way out to the parking lot again.
Huh.
And gets to meet people. Now, it looks weird if he just walks out there on his own.
Yeah.
That's-
Just like wandering around looking for friends.
Yeah.
But if he's
But if he's chasing a football,
Yep.
a little
he's
PR move
cool
there.
about it. I thought a chance move to meet somebody like
Yeah.
that. Now,
Yeah.
did he invite him back? No.
Yeah.
He left him there. He left him out beyond the barrier because there was a barrier.
Well, maybe because they're weird and he didn't
Yeah.
want them. He's just waiting to find the cool one.
Yeah.
there was a barrier there. Yeah. Now,
And security guards or not?
2 security
Okay.
guards,
I
but
always
you
wa-
don't challenge the talent.
Yeah.
No.
That's,
Well, I assume they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Within
We-
reason. I
well,
mean,
they-
he's not taking your assistant.
Yeah, it's not like the president where they're like, "No, sir, you really can't go there." Like if he wants
No.
to go wander around the Midway.
Now let's go to a different. Let's get off country music. Go to DMX.
Okay.
Bone
Oh,
Thugs and Harmony. When
you're joking me.
no
Okay, let's do it.
they when they did because their opening act was Tech Nine
Yep.
and Tech Nine was out there and they did their show and then DMX Bone Thugs and Harmony. DMX gets off his bus and he's parading too. And I hadn't seen the guy. He'd stayed on his bus. He was a lot different now. Tech Nine was very gregarious. But he gets off his bus in the garage and starts walking on the stage. Well, he's got a troop load of girls.
Oh,
Well, 3 of the girls work for me.
oh no!
Wait a minute.
Wait,
You wonder where they
did
were at.
Go?
They were on the bus.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, how?
On the
I mean-
clock and on the bus?
No, we were all
Oh, thank
cleaned
goodness.
up.
Yeah,
We were all cleaned up after dinner,
yeah.
and stuff was put away. And I said, "Okay, you're done now." And they get off the bus. Well, they changed clothes too, by the way.
I,
They
From their
weren't-
catering outfit to
Yeah.
their sexy concert going
they
outfit.
they were appropriate for. I thought, wait a minute.
what's happening here?
I know you and I know you.
Yeah.
So, but that's not unusual for a one of my Bobettes to end up on stage.
Bobettes. That's what your
They-
girls' names.
Yeah, the Bobettes. Alice Cooper had he needed 3 girls up on stage, so they volunteered.
The Bobettes. Got
he
to go.
volunteered them. And with Big and Rich, when they were here this last time, 3 of my girls got volunteered to be up on stage with Big and Rich because they say, "Hey, you doing anything? No, come on up on stage." So
And just hang out. I mean, it's not like they learned
No.
the choreography in the middle of the
Stand there.
day.
they actually had to do something.
Oh, they had a role to
They
play.
had a role to play.
Oh,
Most of them, with Big and Rich, I've got a picture of the exact role they had to play, and they were good about it.
what kind of role are we talking about?
They had to bounce balls around and get the party
Oh.
started. They had,
Okay.
Oh,
they were like cheerleaders.
Okay,
okay.
gotcha. The hype people.
Yeah,
Start squealing.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
were there for effect.
ultimate groupies. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I do hire good eye candy too.
Yeah.
Well, good job.
Part of the
Yeah,
job as being
part
a
of the job.
bobette.
Yes. There are qualifications that must be met and
Yeah.
maintained.
Bob, you brought in a whole. I want to get your
List.
picture with this multiple
Yeah,
page
what
list.
is this
but
list?
these are these all the people who you've been hospitality director for?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the list as far as I can remember. I've kept that. Now, the original piece of paper there is from the beginning, 28 years ago when we started
Wow.
writing it. But I thought I'd better keep a list of these things. Now, trouble is I don't have them dated.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's multiple ones on there, like Sticks. They've
Mm-hmm.
been here twice. And
Chris Ledoux.
yeah, 3 times.
Yeah, I see
3
that.
times Chris. What a fantastic fella. Just
Hmm.
nice. In fact, I lost one of my helpers because Chris Ledoux talked to him so much they went and sat down, and I had to serve dinner on my own because Jim and Chris were in the corner talking Bronco
Seems
football.
like a theme
Oh,
here.
yeah. Have you got to meet his son, Ned?
Yes.
Yeah.
When he was here with his group before.
Are there any on here who? Because sometimes we'll get through the fair, through other events, maybe people right before they've kind of hit it big, or they aren't the names that we now know them as. Are there any that you're surprised
Well,
that
you-
have
you-
become these huge names?
You'll find some duds on there. And
Okay.
Well,
I've
I'm
gotta
looking
be
at one
kind.
right now, and I don't think anybody's ever heard of them.
Okay.
The Turtles.
Oh.
Oh, the Turtles, Happy Together. Best song,
Oh yeah.
1967.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so just before my time.
Now that's Eddie and Flo. Is
Eddie and Flo Turtle.
Eddie and Flo Turtle. Yeah. Oh, they were great in
Where-
60s music.
Huh.
Because did it?
Now, that was the first year that I was ever the boss,
Oh.
was the Turtles.
Wow.
They came.
Are Miranda Lambert or Carrie Underwood on that list? Didn't they come through here?
Miranda's twice.
Yeah. Okay. And that was both of those were before she was
One
as
was
big, right?
No, one was before she was big.
Yeah.
And the other one, Pistol Annie's was booked
yeah.
in here. And,
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
and
they
Pistol
were.
Annie's declined to come, but Miranda Lambert says, if they're not coming, I will come fulfill the contract.
Okay.
And she was big stuff.
Yeah.
She was big stuff.
CCR. That's good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Now,
Rebecca's
there's
looking
2
over the list
CCRs.
right
Yep.
now.
Cross Canadian Ragweed and Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
You know, because both of
See,
are
now
owned
Dirk
by that.
Bentley's on there 3 times.
Yeah.
What a super nice fella.
So some of these people, you as part of your hospitality role, or just Bob being Bob, you're taking these guys out, showing them. Sometimes you have the opportunity, right, to show the town off to them a little bit.
It's Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
First time he was here, we fixed up all this hospitality and things, and it was nice to fix up the dressing room, and he had hot food in there and everything else, and they call him Dan. Nobody calls him Larry. They say, "Hey, Dan." I'm in Montana.
So is Dan his real name then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, "How about if we have?"
Oh, just the name he likes
Well,
to go
I
by.
mean, okay,
I would.
I-
If I was famous, I would just pick a name that people call me and say, this is what I'm just going to go by.
But if you're going by Larry, I would think your name would be like not Dan, like something else, like Phineas LeJew, or like I don't know, like something that's like way more.
Well,
Larry
Shirley
and
was
Dan
already
are kind of
taken.
on the
Yeah.
same. Anyway,
So,
Bob is just too common.
Yeah.
yes. It's like Holler and Mom in Walmart.
So, Dan.
Dan says, "Hey, I'm in Montana. I got to have some beef. Can we get a steak?"
yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you want me
They
to
sell
cook?
it.
You want me to cook you a steak? I said, I don't have any. No, let's go get a steak. So we jumped in the Suburban, went down to Mary's Midway,
Oh.
Oh,
and jumped in there, and it was like a Wednesday night or something. It wasn't a busy night, so there was 6 of us, I think, that went down there and just jumped in and ordered steak. Walked in there and said, "Yeah, let's do some steak.
Yeah.
We can do this." The other one is, I remember Blessed Union of Souls. If they were here, and they said, "Well," I said, "if you could have anything you wanted to and call ahead, what sounds good?" "Oh, beef stew."
Oh.
We don't.
it's
Nobody
specific
picks beef stew.
Okay.
Well,
it's
that's
I
easy
would
to do.
assume people, they try to be so fancy and elaborate instead you just want something,
Yeah.
You're just good food.
every now and again.
And the trouble is that they go down to Texas, and they come out of Texas. Everybody at Texas feeds them barbecue.
Oh,
Hey, you
sure.
have
They're
to have
trying to give them the
latest
signature
and
dish.
greatest barbecue.
Yeah.
And here, no, we're going to feed you pasties.
Yeah. And they're not, that is one of the odd things. Like, you don't hear them talking about the food they have. So why aren't they? Why aren't they talking about the food?
Now, Jennifer Nettles, Sugarland.
Yeah.
Jennifer Nettles, lead singer for Sugarland. When she was here, 2 stories about Jennifer. They were just starting on their career. They had 2 hits out. This was the original Sugarland before they replaced the
All
the
3
other
of
gal,
them.
all 3.
Yeah.
And they had bicycles, so they want to take they would take a ride on their bikes. Jennifer says, "Any place we can go around here?" I said, "You can go all over the grounds." "No, we want to go off the grounds." I said, "Well, let's draw a map." So you draw a map, and you can go down this way, come around, and come back in. And is there anything to see? I said, "Well, I don't know what you're looking for." So they left. They were gone about an hour and a half. Jennifer Nettles was so tickled to come back because, well, she left. She didn't have a jacket. When she came back, she had 2 because she'd been to the thrift store.
Oh,
funny.
She'd
Of
been
all
to the
the
thrift store,
places.
and she was so happy. She was happy because she found 2 leather jackets for $15.
Oh, look at that.
And she spent it. She says, "Look at this! I rode on, walk into the Goodwill store and St. Vincent or whatever it was over
Right.
there, and she got 2 leather jackets.
Yeah, because they're all close to the
Yeah,
fairground.
Yeah.
right
so,
over there on West
Funny.
Central, and
Yeah.
so
That's not where I would expect to find any of them. Yeah.
well, the other one who went shopping there when she was here too was Leanne Rimes,
Yeah.
and you would never pick out Leanne Rimes when she was
Oh,
here.
really?
Baggy sweatpants, tennis shoes, kind of a baggy, kind of a light, very light jacket,
Yeah.
hair pulled back. So, I mean, you don't expect to run into Leanne Rimes.
No.
Well, you're just so accustomed to seeing them in their performance outfit.
Right. And what
They're
they
not
look
gonna
like on
wear
in
their
pictures.
Their sequin sparkly dress
Right.
and heels down the street.
Right.
And I think that's what's kind of nice is you're not looking for celebrities in Montana, especially Great Falls, and you're certainly not expecting to see them just walking along the street.
Right.
But then they're also not going to be bothered. So
Right. No, they don't get bothered here.
And they did the same thing with Little Big Town. Little Big Town's big stuff now. They're on
Yeah.
all the awards shows and the whole works.
Yeah.
And both times they were here in Great Falls. That second time they were here, they had their babies with them. Phil had just had a baby, and the Kimberly had just had a baby. So they had their young kids with them. And the other ones, they had their strollers, and they went out to the carnival all up and down the Midway and the whole works. They were out on the grounds for a good hour and a half, and nobody said boo.
yeah.
No.
You don't expect to run into those guys out there
No.
on the grounds.
No.
So do you have any influence in like saying I'd really like to have these people back, or
Boy,
I want to meet these people? I've been doing this long enough. Bring
Yeah.
these people in.
Boy, I'd love to think that I did.
I also have a grand inflated sense of self-importance, and
Well, and I get to sit there with the promoter. Now, at this fair, with the gal who's bringing in the acts from now on is Fran Romeo is her name.
okay.
And she runs a talent agency. And then and she says, who should we get? I said, well, here's my philosophy is we should run the fair talent a certain way. And I want to do it this way and that way. And if you book this act and that act, one big act at the beginning, one big act at the end, do some fill in between with a bunch of these, I won't call them duds, no names, rising stars,
Yeah.
Right.
the B acts that you can get cheaper. There's plenty of acts out there they can get just because they're driving through.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay them to come to Great Falls. They're
Yeah.
already in the neighborhood. So that's who you want to get. And they can get them at a reasonable cost. So that's mine. So I tell Fran Romeo, here's my think we ought to do this, we ought to do that, and have some foresight to get the next biggest, greatest thing. And I still credit Bill Ogg with booking Garth Brooks before he was Garth Brooks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they booked him a year out.
Wow.
Because they heard the buzz about this guy, and the promoter, who was Bob Romeo at the time, said, you need to book this guy. Okay. Booked him.
Wow.
And they got him cheap.
Wow. Can you
got it
imagine now, like thinking about
Well,
Garth
same
Brooks?
with Taylor Swift when she was
Yeah.
here. It was right before she made it
Yeah.
big.
I mean, she played on a
Taylor Swift was here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
when she was like 14 years old, and she
Yeah.
had just played at the Civic Center in the convention hall in the back.
Okay.
And
I did not know that.
Yep, and it was Dana House.
Huh.
Dana House was the promoter that got her here.
I did
And-
not know that.
Yeah.
And she came in, sang her songs, and everybody goes, really? Well, it's like Carrie Underwood. When we got Carrie
Yeah.
Underwood here, she had just won American Idol, and I think she was like a year and a half out.
Yeah.
And we still got to get
Real
her at
good
a
timing
reasonable
there.
cost.
Yeah. Because she just exploded. Mm-hmm.
So you
Who's
get
your?
those-
What's your dream act that you haven't gotten to meet but would love to do the hospitality for?
John Cougar?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Cougar.
yeah.
That good 80s rock,
Yeah.
90s rock that
That's your.
is timeless. Because before that, if I'd have said Journey, well, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So
The Commodores. I was in awe of the
Yeah.
Commodores. So because that was my kind of music. So
I had no idea Lionel Richie was a Commodore.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I realized that either till I saw the. Just
Yeah.
looking at the history of the Commodores. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you learn some
You
stuff
do learn
here.
things. Yeah.
So your radio station time, your time at the radio stations, was your show always like an 80s rock show?
No, I was straddled with country.
Oh, always.
And in Anaconda, when I started, it was strictly country. And then in Williston, I had to do the countryside, 1360 KEYZ. Once in a while, I'd get to fill in for vacation over on the rock side, top 40.
Ooh.
Well, I could really
Get
do
excited.
my DJ. Hello. Hey, it's I had
What was your radio name?
now I,
Baker Bob?
Well, yeah. Has it always
you
been
and I
Baker
just
Bob?
had a connection there
Yeah.
because I was going to do that. I couldn't be because I was working for Buttrey Food and Drug.
Right.
I was full-time bakery manager, but the biggest advertiser at the station was their competition.
oh.
That gets tricky.
It was a super value store. So I would have to go down in the afternoon and I would be running the board and, hey, let's check in with Barry Arnold. Barry Arnold's down at Family Thrift Center. Barry, got some great specials there, huh? Yeah. So, and back at the studio, it's Robert T. Baker.
Robert T. Baker. Oh my gosh. That's great.
So I was just Robert T. Baker, and I didn't use that very much. Hey,
That's
and
fantastic.
of course, you know what the T stood for.
The.
Very good.
Yeah.
See, I can't pull a fast one on you.
You know, I got it all, the smarts, the audacity to walk up
Audacity.
with the surfboard to get it signed.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's getting all kinds of ideas now for next time.
Yeah.
Did you go? I know.
Bob's going to have
Yeah.
a picture posted right at
Yeah.
the
Like, don't let this
Don't.
one
this
in.
one. Yeah, I'm already on the GFPD list, so
Yeah,
we're good.
it's true.
We're good
She's
to
getting
go.
There.
every podcast episode. She gets put on somebody else's
Those
list.
warrants are still active?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it turns
She's only
out
partly kidding.
it's been a few years since I had interacted with the PD, and then most recent interaction also resulted in another.
ouch.
Yeah, let's put you back on the list.
Got to watch out for this one.
Goodness.
Do you go? I know, like when Jake Owen was here, he went to the Sip and Dip, as I'm guessing a lot of performers might try to make because it's
We've
kind of our
heard-
world famous
Yeah,
stop.
we've heard like in the country music world that that's like the lore for anybody coming to Great Falls.
like
is
they
have
got to
to
go see
stop
the
there.
mermaids.
It's no secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's true.
they do tell it. They do talk. All these road managers and booking agents, they talk to each other, and they tell everybody about number one, how great the food catering is, and number two, you got to go see the mermaids.
Yeah.
And they'll head out there as often as they can. There's like Dirk Spenley. Dirk Spenley would never leave town without
Yeah.
heading there. And the last time he took Thomas Rhett, 'cause,
Yep.
Oh.
TR was the Thomas Rhett was the opening act, was the act the next night.
Okay.
Oh.
So
okay.
Dirk Spenley says, "Come on,
Come in early.
come
yeah.
in early. You come here a day early. I'll show you how this works. Let's go."
Yeah.
So they head up there. Oh, Heidi Newfield. Oh, they took them all. Yeah.
Cam, the artist Cam, was here,
Uh-huh.
and she actually did an interview where she's like, "I've been told I have to go to the Sip and Dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but I'm going."
Yeah.
Told I was go here. Yeah. Well, we got that thing that they all have to see.
Yep.
And then they learn to appreciate the rest of what we have, or that they can go out and
Well,
be at
and that
peace.
I don't know how viral it went, but Old Dominion went and wanted to hypothetically buy a boat off of Craigslist. The guy showed up to show him the boat at Holter, and he's like, "Hi, we don't really want to buy it, but will you hang out with us and take us for a boat ride all day?"
Gosh.
Yep.
So, I'm like, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what you were planning to do today, but this boat's big enough for all of us. Let's go party.
Let's go.
Okay.
We'll still pay you a little bit here.
And they've got the film to prove it. Plenty of that's documented.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I come up with good stories.
Now the
that
thing,
have-
what Old Dominion did though, they went down there to Holter and partied all day with that boat thing, and then invited anybody and everybody to come to the show.
Oh.
And then they invited him also VIP stuff. So then pretty soon they're all back in my catering thing, like the Huey Lewis thing.
all of you.
Pretty soon I've got 25, 30 people back there. And I go, oh, okay. Anything we can give them? I don't know. Let me look.
I wasn't planning on all of
Wasn't
you.
planning on all of you.
It's
but-
not like I have a grocery store
Right.
next to my kitchen.
Yeah, what can you do? So,
Yeah.
Old Dominion did that to me.
Do they have lanyards so you know they're supposed to be back there?
Stickers.
Okay.
They'll get the peel and stick
Are
stickers.
they like
that,
Baker Bob stickers or like
no,
what?
they're VIP
Okay.
stickers that the band will give them.
Okay.
Because I don't get to hand out stickers.
You don't get that.
No.
Oh, you
In
should.
fact, every once in a while, when I get a sticker, I'll keep them. I won't peel them because I want to keep them.
Yeah.
So they're like guitar picks. Some people get the
Yeah.
guitar picks.
You get the VIP sticker.
I'll get the stickers and
Yeah.
don't stick them. So they're
That's a good
few
plan.
and far between.
Yeah.
And some of them are. I got one from Rob Zombie. I guess I traded a blender for a sticker.
A sticker. There you go. That's a
I
good trade.
actually saw him at the Holiday Inn. I was having a conference, and that's where he was staying on his way. After he did a show here, he was on the way to Billings. But we were hosting a small business conference, and I'm so unaware of most things, which is probably good for me. But I'm out in the hallway of the Holiday Inn, making sure everybody's in their little breakout sessions, and in walks this guy with this really cute black pug. And I bent down to play with the dog, and I looked up just as I was bending down because I didn't want to approach the dog if the owner was like, no. And I
Right.
looked up and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, never mind. Like, then I realized it was Rob Zombie and his dog, and I'm like, I won't bother you.
No.
And so he walked past, and a colleague of mine was in the breakout session, and she was looking out as it happened. She walks out and she goes, was that Rob Zombie? Are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah. I bring only the best for
Yes.
that. So,
Oh my gosh.
we
That sounds
let
like
him
something I would do,
handle it.
like eyes on the dog, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask him to pet his dog, and then I realized I'm
No.
not going to bother him. So,
Do you have any, you don't have to name names here. Are there any that you hope will never come back?
Oh, no. Let's see. No.
It could
see,
be
now,
a yes or no answer.
No. Let's look at AWOL Nation that was just here
Okay.
in recent memory. The road manager was high strung.
Okay.
Lots of emails, lots of back and forth, very demanding. There wasn't a please or a thank you out of the guy till the very last when he was just leaving. Now, the members of the band weren't like that.
Okay.
So he'll take he flavors the whole conversation.
You'll take AWOL Nation, just different promoter.
Yeah, just different road manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
but you have to. All you're getting is that interaction with the road
Yeah.
manager until they show up. So
Yeah.
then that's the only thing you can judge this experience by.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
Then there's other guys like I mentioned Tech Nine. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to sit down and have dinner with Tech Nine? Sure you would.
Yeah.
If you knew that they go out on stage and they do this rap stuff and they've got the heavy makeup on and they've got cymbals out there and they're I don't understand their music. It's too loud. It's too scratchy. And there's three guys out there and all this noise is out there. And then they come off and the other act goes out there and these guys want to have dinner. So, okay, well, now I've got dinner ready for Tech Nine.
Yeah.
So, hi, guys. How are you? We've got dinner after you get changed with about 20 minutes after their show concludes. Okay, we're at 8:30, Tech Nine gets fed. So they come back in. Here comes three really nice guys. And all the makeup is gone.
You just look like
and
a
all
normal
the
guy.
all the ghetto
All
the
the-
ghetto slang is all gone.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're from Kansas City.
Oh,
And all they want to talk is Kansas City football.
yeah.
And they're
As
just
they should.
as they should. And they sit down and say, and I said, here's the dinner, and I'm there with my son, and Eddie and I get him served up, and then the guy said, well, did you guys eat? I said, oh, no, that's okay. No, come on, get something. Sit down with us. We talk to each other all the time. You can sit down and talk to us. So we sat down and they're talking football. Well, if you're going to talk to my son and talk football, you've got him right there. And the conversation's great. These are just normal sports fans. And pretty soon security comes back and he leans in and he says, there's a fella out here that would like to buy you a drink. And he's got this bottle of Chivas with him with a fancy Philadelphia Eagle cap on it.
Oh.
And he says he'd like to have a drink with you guys. And the guy says, well, we don't drink. So, but they said, just a minute. So they popped the cork on it and they passed it around the table and each one took a sniff of the bottle and gave it to me. And they said, you better do some. I said, okay. So I tilted the bottle up and wet my lips with that. And I handed it to my son and he did the same thing. And they said, there, okay. So they put the top back on and brought it back out to the guy. And the guy says, well, that's not what I wanted. I want to come back and have a drink with him. They said, no, you can't do that. They said, oh, okay. So go ahead and tell them they can keep it. So they brought it back and the guy says, we don't want that. So it sat there on the table. We gave it away. But they don't drink. They're clean livers.
Yeah.
The group Shinedown, one of the best acts I've for a show. You can't beat a Shinedown. If that's your kind of music, Shinedown is the best. But these guys, they don't drink, they don't smoke.
Yeah.
There's no bad habits. They said, no, we gave that up years ago. They said, to a man, they all said, we can't do this and do what we do. We had to make a choice years ago that we had to clean up our act. And so they're a dry, smokeless outfit. There are very few of these acts anymore ever smoke. I think the smokiest bunch I ever dealt with was Journey. Journey.
Well, okay.
They were smokers from the get-go. But for the most part, you don't run into smokers or drinkers.
Yeah.
Well, in order to have that lifestyle, I mean, that's a demanding,
it's very demanding,
physically demanding lifestyle. I travel for 3 days and I can't.
You're wiped out.
I'm like, I'm just going to stay at home now for a month.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work.
It is.
And your body is your tool as much as your voice. But the performance and acrobatics, I can see that.
I think there's assumptions, though, that these guys are just like out there
the
partying.
80s rock scene, just, drugs and
that.
Groupies and all the
Bobettes out there. Yeah.
Hotel bashing.
Wow. And so, Bob, now the other thing you do, play-by-play. Yeah, you're very involved with sports. I heard you on the radio the other night with your son, who's
commentary,
well esteemed in this community as well. Yeah,
well, got into that. Had the opportunity to jump into that 7 years ago. I had done it. Now this goes back to Anaconda again.
Okay,
I had the chance to do it in high school.
It all goes back to this.
We did 2 games, and we messed it up so bad, and I've always been scared to death to do it again. But when I started my radio career, thank you, Skip Walters, for that. Skip Walters made me.
Wrangled you into that?
As he just says, since you don't have the bakery anymore, I need a board op. So you come be a board op. And even like Jason, that's where you start.
Yep.
From the ground up, you come be a board op. And you learn the technical skill. And then pretty soon they need somebody to broadcast a basketball or a football game. Actually, it started with basketball. So let's do some basketball. Hey, I can do this. This is good. I can work the equipment. That's the easy part. The other one is I can fill the airtime and I can sound halfway entertaining and keep up with the action. So
there you go.
Once you get comfortable with that, it's away you go. Nothing to be nervous about.
I talked with Troy Mellinger at the competing radio station here in town.
Troy's a great guy.
Yeah, and we were talking. I used to go in on a monthly basis and do some radio thing, and he's like, we started talking about Class C basketball, and he's like, have you ever thought about doing play-by-play? And I'm like, the things that'll come out of my mouth first are not appropriate for radio. And then second, I'm going to be yelling more than I'm even paying attention to what I'm supposed to be saying. He's like, oh, no, I think with some training. I'm like, nope, you don't understand the level of training that it would take for me to keep my mouth shut.
Train that out of you. Yeah.
So not something I think I would ever want to do, because I get a little frustrated. And
Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
See, now, gotta love Troy. I think Troy, it's a defense mechanism for him. He'll be doing a game, and pretty soon he'll start telling a story about something else that has nothing to do with the game. I think that's a defense mechanism
See,
because
you
he's
could
frustrated
just do
with the
that.
game.
Yeah,
start telling random
you could do
stories.
That. Yeah.
Sure.
And then they'll know the reffing has gone bad, or the coach made the wrong
She
call.
just rambles. Something bad's happening.
Yeah. And we've all us sportscasters have gotten our hands, well, we've been counseled about our editorial skills.
Counseled is a gentle way to put that. Yeah.
Of not commenting on certain teams, referees, coaches, or gamesmanship.
Yep, you can't unless you're off the air. And I've had some really good conversations at the ballpark with Glenn Lambert.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Things he doesn't say on the air that we've had some good conversations.
See, now, Glenn, this last Friday night, Glenn and I were next to each other. He was in the other booth, and I was in the booth. So we were catching up. It's the first game we'd done this season. So Glenn and I got to catch up a little bit.
That's good.
And you make it out to most Voyagers games, or you try to.
Here and there. And I was, of course, I've been doing the all the PA for the Great Falls Legion Club.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did all the PA for them for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I did very little this year because they finally had another dad step up. I said, give it to one of the dads. It's the best seat in the house.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
To be at Centene Stadium and doing the PA announcing. You do the national anthem and do the music and the walk-up music. And
like you sing the national anthem,
No
Bob?
way, I'm not Tim Paul.
Do you do any singing?
Not very well.
Oh.
No.
I didn't ask if you did it well.
No.
Bob, I asked
do
if
do
you
it.
did it.
Give me a karaoke machine with some
There you go.
libation, and
Yeah.
You're a good singer, huh?
I am great.
That's the way I do it, too.
Yes.
So when people are coming to Great Falls to hang out, like flip on their radio, where can they hear you when they're here in Great Falls?
I'll tell you what, I get the morning gig, of course, which we have. To Jason's credit, we came up with a name for our morning show.
Oh, did you?
To be
Okay.
announced
Is it
soon.
official? Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Why
got
That's
it.
a tease.
why can't you drop it here?
It's not coming out for a couple weeks.
No. We got to
Oh,
order the
come
hats,
on.
the hats,
Order
the
the
coffee
hats.
mugs, and the pens.
Oh, love
Have
it.
got to come. So we've got, but we do the morning show from 6 to 9,
And that's
and it's news, weather, sports on 560 KMON
AM.
AM, and biggest radio station in Montana, 37 counties and 3 Canadian provinces.
Yes, sir.
And but then seeing it, that's the morning mess when we get to do that, and it's chaos in the morning because we're trying to balance, and I'm trying to keep Jason
Reined
kind
in.
of
Focused.
wrangle him in.
And this is
Keep
my
him
this is my
focused.
husband for if no one has caught on to that.
Yeah.
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 He has to deal with him every
So
morning.
Mr. Prim and Proper weatherman there. So he comes out of his shell every once in a while. So then, but in the evening from 6 to 10, Monday through Friday, I'm on my own, which is nice. I don't have to answer to anybody. So I'm all by myself. No adult supervision.
So it's 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock. What?
6 to 9 in the morning.
560?
Yeah. No, 6 to 9 in the morning, then 6 to 10 in the evening.
On 560?
560
Both
KMON.
of them, both.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you go to bed, and then you get up and you go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jason's in bed when you're like doing your evening show.
He's a wimp. So like I say,
Clearly,
it'll
Bob
come.
is used to having
It'll come.
17 jobs at a time.
He is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't sleep because
No.
he...
What kind of show is your evening show?
Straight up country music.
Okay.
Straight up oldies country music. You get a good dose of some good female singers in there. Jody Messina. You'll get your Crystal Gale and Tanya Tucker, but you'll also get a Tom T. Hall in there, and Earl Thomas Conley, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson. You get a good dose of that.
Do you
A few
share
women-
your stories on the show?
Oh yeah, I'm very open about it. Yeah.
You haven't been slapped with a lawsuit
Huh,
yet?
no.
Good job.
Well, see, I've got to condense them though,
Yeah.
so I've got time to rethink them. So I can.
Do you ever have to sign NDAs or non-disclosure acts when acts come in for anything?
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope.
I would have thought there would be some like
Yeah.
higher maintenance ones that say.
Nope.
Interesting.
None.
Well, there you go. You're free and clear.
None of that stuff.
No
So-
disclaimers on this
Yeah,
podcast.
that's
Yeah.
right.
And the biggest and let's see, the biggest outfits I've ever done is the river dance.
Oh, cool.
Did river dance 3 times.
Real here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were at Mansfield.
Oh my god.
Mansfield, and the other one was at the Four Seasons too.
Wow.
U.S. Marine Corps Band
Oh,
at the
that
Four
was
Seasons. The let's see, there was another big one. Cats, the Cats play.
Oh yeah, you do it. Those are big groups,
Big
when you
groups.
get the big musicals
Yeah.
that come in. Wow.
And the other one where you well, which kind of wasn't like you said. What brought it up was the non-disclosure kind of thing, because when we did David Copperfield,
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
at the Civic Center, there was a lot of of magic
Back end stuff.
stuff that he brought in that he couldn't use because of the weight and the ceiling and the size of the stage. So
Oh.
they had to make up the program once they saw the venue. But there was parts of the venue we could not go into.
Okay.
We were banned with. There was barricades
Yeah.
That makes sense.
to you couldn't go beyond here or there. And nice guy. I was surprised to meet him, and he was very tall, very thin, and very just nice guy.
Yeah.
Long skinny hands.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Almost
Odd.
like Bill Clinton. If you ever shook hands with Bill Clinton, that's the same thing. Long, skinny hands.
Have you
Yeah.
shaken hands with Bill Clinton?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're
Why
good
not?
for saxophone playing.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Oh, the other one I fed was President Bush.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Huh.
Didn't get to meet him, but
Okay. You fed him.
The Secret Service came down and we
Yeah.
made the food and they delivered it.
Okay.
President Trump has been at Montana ExpoPark.
Yeah, were you there?
you hospitality there? I mean, it was not
no,
during
it wasn't that important then.
Oh.
How about when Barack Obama was campaigning and came
No.
through in 08
Nope.
or whenever that was? Yeah. No.
Well, they're not necessarily here during mealtime. So
No,
that's
but
like-
Yeah.
still, like,
The hospitality.
if you're
yeah.
on the ground and doing a act,
Yeah.
I might say, hey, can I get some
Sandwich.
snacks or something?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would ask for food every time I landed
Yeah,
somewhere.
me
Yeah.
too. That's what I was saying. Even if it's just small, like something.
Because I just want to see the
or
variety.
like ice cream or something. Yeah. Did you do the hospitality when Bill Cosby was here?
No.
you
No.
act. It
That-
was
Why? Because you want to know if I made pudding?
No.
Jell-O.
I when I was on TV, I met him backstage at that.
Mm.
Not impressed, but
No.
so I'm just curious. Yeah. But I'm also a
female.
female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the one
Anyway.
that did impress me, of course, I've done the comics. Bill Engvall and
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy, Carrot Top.
Oh,
Scott,
yeah?
Scott, just fantastic fellow.
Huh.
The other one that I still got to pinch myself because I'm sitting back there on a trunk talking to George Carlin.
He
yeah.
had to have been fun.
And just he's a regular guy.
Yeah.
You're sitting back there. There's no, you have a regular conversation for a good 45 minutes
yeah.
and just talking about stuff and current events. And he's not trying to be funny or
No.
anything. He's just talking and everybody's giving him space. And he just sat on the trunk back there and we talked. And then the curtain goes up and out comes this angry man. That
Yeah. The
all
persona.
of a sudden, he hears George Carlin, the
Yeah.
commentator out there, and I thought that's not the same guy.
The light
'Cause
switch.
I
Yeah.
had gone down and sat in the front row because they don't sell the front row on the
Yeah.
sides on the wings, so I just go down there and sat in the front row, and I thought, oh, it's not the same
Yeah.
guy.
Is that who I was
Where's-
just talking
Where's
to?
George?
We went and saw Rob Schneider at the Newberry.
Oh yeah.
And it was a similar thing. Like he did his whole set, and then afterwards he was on stage just visiting with folks. And the guy you visited with was not the same guy
Yeah.
that was the act.
Yeah.
Like he was just a lot more. Oh, thanks so much for being here. And I'm like, you're not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
they're
always interesting
performing.
because
Yeah.
they are performing, and that's a completely
There's that
different
persona.
act. But Yeah, you kind of expect because it's comedy that they're the same person
Yeah. Yep.
on the stage as they are off.
Yep.
But
you
yeah,
gotta
that's
walk up to them and
interesting.
say, "Hey, Rob, say something
Tell
funny.
me a
Right.
joke. Yeah.
Say something funny."
I'm sure they get that and just don't like. Do you have an opening line that you always go in when you like walk up to these acts and you meet them? Do you have like the same like question or opening line, or like, "Hey, I'm Baker
Boy,
Bob"?
do I have an opening line?
Okay.
And here it is.
All right.
Hey, want a cookie?
And from you, that's maybe not
And the
creepy.
reason is when they get off the bus and they're walking into the venue, what are we doing? We're baking cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to walk
I think
right
I just
by.
got our episode name.
You
Want
want
a
a cookie?
they have to walk by my baking area, and we're baking cookies, snickerdoodle cookies, every
Oh.
single day.
It's Jason's
bake
favorite,
about
by the way.
25 dozen snickerdoodle
Oh my
cookies.
gosh.
And they walk by and says, "Hey," and I mean, this is anywhere from 8:30 till 10 o'clock in the morning.
But
that
you
they
know
can
that's
walk by.
that's the one food you can eat all day long,
Anytime.
any time of the day.
Mhm.
And it says, we just made these, and I opened up the barbecue and
Oh.
show them. I says, "There's a pan on here baking. These are hot out for you.
Warm,
So
and you can
gotta,
smell them.
You got to try these cookies." Really? And it's very disarming, and it's very
Yeah.
welcoming.
Is that
you
how you
know.
get the ladies too?
Oh, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we already talked
Because
about how you smell like
that's how
donuts.
Bobette-
So yeah.
That's how every Bobette
Bobette.
shows up. They're like, "Oh, he offered me a cookie."
Mhm.
Yeah. If you're going to
Did
be
your parents warn you about people who just offered you cookies? Yeah.
if you're going to be a chick magnet, you got to have
Yeah.
a secret weapon.
Mm-hmm. Cookies are that's a good way to do it.
That's it.
Smelling like donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, I had a blast since I
Yeah.
had no idea what was going to happen today. It
We
has been
didn't.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this chapter 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could make this into 2 episodes
I don't
already.
know.
We might just do that.
Well, and we probably should do a third at another day and time.
Yes.
Sure.
When I can refocus and we
Good.
can share more stories.
Yeah.
And if you're hanging out in Great Falls and you want to listen to something beyond Shannon and I on
Yeah,
We're No
beyond
Damn
our
Experts,
voices. Yeah.
feel free to tune into 560 either 6 to 9 in the morning or 6 to 10 at night.
Yeah.
Now, 6 to 10, that's my evening buffet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll just
nice.
bake up all the treats. You come back and enjoy.
Look at that.
In fact, from 9 to 10 is the dessert portion.
Oh.
Look at that. Makes sense. Do you have is the 6 to 7 the appetizer?
I don't get that. No, just the
Not
main
that-
meal.
Just
Just
dive right in.
belly
Yeah.
up to the bar.
Buffet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any events come? Are you doing the Cinderella Ballet at
No.
Pacific Center?
Nope,
Okay.
Nope. And what happens is I've got people call me
Mm-hmm.
and they'll say, "Hey, we've got an event coming up here, there. Can you do this?" Well, I can, but let me tell
I
you how
can,
much
but I
it's going
won't.
to cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
picky.
I would do it if you want to pay,
Sure.
but you're going to have to pay me to set up and tear down.
Yeah.
Plus, I've got to go get a city permit.
Oh,
And that
sure.
city permit is $150.
Yeah.
So I got $150 plus about $300 to set up and tear down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can front end $450 right off the top
Yeah.
Plus.
before we even start talking food,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be glad to help you.
Yeah.
So what is your next event?
The state fair next year
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I've gone through plenty of fair managers, and it's always been my job to lose. And was very open with that with all the fair managers. Hey, if you want to do something else, I'm just a year-to-year contract worker.
Yeah.
No. You
Good deal.
because I check a box for them. They know what they're going to get. They
Yeah.
know what they're
Yep.
getting.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Plus, I hear through the grapevine all the time through promoters, I work too cheap.
Oh.
They said, "Yeah, you work too cheap," because they'll ask me. The guy who was here this last time, he says, "Did you charge for this? Did you?" Now here's what I'm paying in Kennewick. Here's what I'm paying in Idaho. Here's what I'm paying at my last event. I said, "Well, I don't charge anywhere near that." He said, "Well, you're leaving money on the table." I said, "Well, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. I'm not here to take advantage of Montana State Fair or Cascade County or anything else. My help is happy. I've got the same help I've had for the last 15 years.
Oh, wow.
I have,
Well, that's saying something.
I'm not super great at a whole bunch of things, Bob, but if you need me to fill in,
wash dishes.
As a Bobette?
no,
if you want to be
I'm not
Bob,
Bobette. Not that caliber. I can do dishes.
do dishes. That's all you got to do.
I had a colleague that ran a bed and breakfast in Lewistown, and Michael Keaton would stay there often, and I
Oh.
always said, do you want me to come do housekeeping? And she's like, no, it concerns me that you would even go into his room and make his bed. And I'm like, I'm a good housekeeper. It's fine. She's like, no, you're not coming anywhere
Don't get
near the
near that.
property.
And see, I had a gal once that she wanted to be a bobette, and I said, okay, I've got Bill Engvall at the Civic Center. So I was at the bakery, and we're going to take care of Bill Engvall, his hospitality and his dinner. He was flying in with his wife and his kids, and they, get to come to Montana.
Yeah.
So they were flying in, going to spend a couple of days. And she says, I said, well, if you're successful here, then you can work the fair when that comes
Training
around.
ground.
Well, she failed badly because as soon as Bill walked in,
Did she fangirl?
she jumped. She wrapped her arms around his
Oh.
neck and says, "Oh, Bill,
No,
I love
no,
you so
no.
much.
No.
You're so great."
Oh my
And then when
gosh.
and his eyes got big
Yeah.
as saucers.
Well,
and
I
he was
wasn't expecting
I
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. And here's this, this 18-year-old all wrapped around him, and she she finally backed off and she says, "Would you talk to my friend?"
Oh,
and
boy.
she's dialing her cell phone. And,
Oh, dear.
And Bill was, "Hi,
no,
this
no.
is Bill Engvall." "Yes." "Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you. Goodbye."
Oh, my
that was her
gosh.
last time she ever catered anything.
Yeah.
I won't
good
do
call.
that, Bob.
Okay.
She won't-
That you say that now.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty positive
Okay.
I won't do that.
You're not going to go throw your arms around Larry the Cable Guy?
No.
Dan,
Oh.
I mean.
Because also, I had a friend who's wanted to stalk Michael Keaton because he was in town, and I'm like, leave him alone. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just offered to go help, my
Make his
colleague
bed.
out. He wasn't in it.
Thank goodness.
I don't know what type of girl you think I am, Shannon, but
See,
I
that's
was just trying to help out a colleague.
That's like that Phil Vassar story we started with. If Sue would have wrapped her arms around Phil, I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
it would have been his problem. I'll leave
Yeah.
you guys on the street. Get a room.
Got to go.
You're not there to stop anything. You're just,
No.
So, thank you for being here, Bob.
Yeah.
I look forward to trying to get into the back of Montana State Fair next year.
Yeah.
she says this right after she's like, "You don't have to worry about me. I'm
Because I
fine."
need to help wash the dishes,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Okay.
Now
I am
know.
a competent professional.
I know she's going to show up with a white blouse and an apron now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think she can just walk by security.
Uh-huh.
See, that's one thing. Security knows my people already.
yeah. Well, I'm going
Her
to.
face is plastered all over.
Yeah.
Yeah. PD's not back there. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's county property. There'll
Yeah,
be
the-
sheriffs there.
The county Mounties are there.
Yeah.
So thanks. We look forward to having you back when you've got more stories to tell.
Yes.
Not when. You already have them.
Oh, we got him.
Yeah.
Got a boatload.
So thanks for being here. And people out in the world, thanks for listening to our
Yes.
podcast. I'll make the plug that I've not made in a long time.
Do it.
Rate, review, and subscribe. I
Yes,
mean,
please.
I don't know why you're not already.
So you can hear our lovely voices every Friday morning.
There's a reason we aren't
yeah,
on
maybe
radio.
it's, yeah. Very true.
I should say me because you've been on radio.
I did TV, so they unfortunately had both the face and the voice.
Yeah. So until we see your bright, happy, smiling, healthy face here in Great Falls, for whatever reason, we can't wait to see you here. I hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you are. See you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.